my friends, welcome to God Focus this morning. The title of today's episode, Acts of Faith. Before I get started, I would like to say that today is Veterans Day, and I want to honor all those who have served in our military or who are currently serving in our military. I would like to thank my dad and my father-in-law, my grandpa Long, my uncle Brian, and all my many cousins and friends. I also want to ask you to pray for those who are currently in our military. They signed up to serve our country not knowing what they would face or where they would be sent. That in itself is an act of faith. As Christians, we become soldiers in God's army not knowing what we are facing, but we step out in faith. We should be just as willing to go and do what the Lord wants us to do as the soldiers are in our military. Today I want to talk to you about acts of faith. The Word of God is full of people that stood strong for the cause of Christ. The Old Testament is full of people that stood against false gods and the spirits behind them to worship Jehovah. When I think about the Old Testament acts of faith, Elijah on Mount Carmel is one of my favorites. His faith in the one true God was strong, but no one would have known how strong if he had not been willing to take a stand against all the prophets of Baal. The New Testament example that we often use is when Peter stepped out of the boat and walked on the water toward Jesus. This act of faith is often used to remind us that we all lose our God focus at times. When the storms of life come up, we can easily get our eyes on the storm and lose our focus. I think this story is in the Word to remind us of the beauty and strength of being the one to take the chance and step out of the boat in faith. Time and time again, God proved who He was with all of His many miracles, but behind every miracle was someone willing to trust God. Gideon would have surely lost the battle if he had gone in with a great army, because God would have not have fought for him. But he went in the name of the Lord and was obedient in faith. I think about Jesus healing the man that was so sick that his friends carried him to Jesus. But when they could not get to Jesus, they climbed up on the roof and lowered him down. If it had not been for his friends' act of faith, that man would have not received his healing. James 2:14 through 17. What doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he hath faith and have not works? Can faith save him? If a brother or sister be naked, destitute of daily food, and one of you say to them, Depart in peace, be warmed and filled, notwithstanding you give them those things which are needful to the body, what doth it profit? Even so, faith, if it hath not works, is dead, being alone. Our faith in God means nothing if we do not have the works that come with obedience. Faith without works is dead. In other words, you can have faith that can move mountains, but if you do not use it, it profits nothing. The mountain never moves. Matthew 17:20. And Jesus said unto them, Because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you shall say unto this mountain, Remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Jesus' example to the disciples was the mustard seed. All the faith in the world would not move that mountain unless you say to the mountain, Be thou removed. Faith is a word of action, not a state of mind. What does it mean to have faith as a grain of mustard seed? Many use the size of the mustard seed to mean you just need a little faith. Some biblical translations even now say if you have a little faith as a mustard seed. But Jesus wasn't necessarily talking about the size of the seed, but the purity of the faith. The mustard seed, even though it is tiny, will not mix with any other herb. It stays pure. If our faith is as a mustard seed, then it will be pure and not mix with doubt and fear. As the enemy tries to plant seeds of doubt and fear, our faith will say, Satan, I will not be afraid because my God has this situation under control, keeping our faith pure so that God can work His miracles. We often talk about the great big miracles of the Bible. We talk about the faith of those who have gone before us. But the big miracles like Elijah calling fire down from heaven were all built on the many small steps of faith he had taken his whole life. Each step makes us stronger and gives us better understanding of our faith in God. When we take the next step, we grow in wisdom and understanding. We also grow stronger in our faith. I think about my grandpa saying that when he was starting his faith journey, he would take his Bible to the woods and pray and ask God for understanding. He said he would kneel down one place and he would feel like God would nudge him to get up and move somewhere else. He said he didn't know for sure at that time if it was God, but he did it just in case it was God. What difference would it make in that case if he had been wrong? But through obedience, he learned God's voice and how to walk out his faith walk. In order to be that soldier of faith, we need to be obedient and willing to walk by faith. Even when things are dark, even when the storms are raging, even when our natural eyes and mind do not see the way out of the storm, stepping out in faith, walking out the acts of our faith will always bring the miracles that we need. Thanks for watching. Until next time, be bold, be brave, and keep your God focus. Like, share, and subscribe for more encouragement. Have a wonderful day.